Hello everybody, I am Professor Jitendra Nigam. Welcome to this webinar on how to select an MBA college. Today I am very proud and privileged to be sharing this stage with a luminary personality, Dr. Kamal Kishore Sharma, who works with us as Director General at Taxila Business School. Dr. Sharma has done his doctorate from IIM Ahmedabad, and there can be nothing better than that. He has got a very vast experience of corporate. He has been CEO of a couple of multinational companies. He has worked with the Indian civil services and public sector companies as advisors to them. So there can be nobody better than him to tell you guys on what is a good MBA college. Dr. Sharma.
Thank you very much for a very generous introduction, Professor Nigam. Let me have the privilege to introduce Professor Nigam, who is my co-chair for the day, for the session. Professor Nigam is an MBA and he's worked about 18 years with a British multinational, Avery, India, from where he took voluntary retirement after attaining the position of the Vice President. Since then, for the last decade, he has been a very successful entrepreneur and he dabbles in trading, hospitality and food industry. He's also very aware social citizen. He does a lot of social work and he has an NGO. And he loves to share his experiences, and so he teaches, and for the last about 14 years, he has been teaching with Taxila Business School. He's an able monitor and a guide, and he has guided thousands of students towards great careers. Welcome, Professor Nigam.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I would like to add something here. I have not only counseled students to get into MBA colleges, or I have not been teaching in MBA colleges. Prior to that, in my corporate days, I have recruited, trained and commissioned more than 3,000 to 4,000 sales executives and managers. So I have that experience also, pre-MBA and post-MBA. Sir.
Great. What a stage to share with you, and I'm happy to be, and we are here together to help you all decide which MBA college fits in for a great careers for all of you. Well, it's a huge decision. It's a tough decision, but the right decisions are hardest to make. But they must be made in order to have a fulfilling life you deserve. For more than 9 out of 10 candidates, you would see that this is the last formal education before they enter the corporate world. It works as a rounding off to the best possible attainment of a personality that you can achieve through knowledge and personal grooming, and to understand business in all its contexts and all its functions together in an MBA curriculum. It gives you a respected corporate job profile. You start as an executive, a management trainee, and with an MBA, obviously there's nothing better than an MBA in terms of a corporate, a degree which attracts the corporates. So you get an accelerated career growth if you have an MBA as compared to somebody who does not have. And obviously it comes with an excellent compensation bracket. That's the dream of most of the aspirant MBAs. So it's all the more important that you make the right choice of an MBA college. But if you look at it, these are all what you want. That has to be matched with what corporates are looking for in you. Professor Nigam, would you like to throw some light on you've worked with the startups and you've worked with the multinational, and you've seen across in terms of business development a lot of private sectors. What are they looking for in an MBA student?
Right, sir. Thank you so much for giving me this chance to explain. And you very rightly said that 9 out of 10 times, an MBA degree is the last educational pursuit that a student goes through. According to me, like running a race and this is the last lap of your race. What do you do then? You plan it in advance, right? And then you run the hardest. Okay. And that is what you need to do with an MBA college also, with your MBA degree also. You have to run the fastest and plan the hardest. Right?
Very well said.
And that will only make you corporate friendly, corporate trained. And now let me explain you what I as a person from the corporate used to look for in a person when I was hiring or when I was recruiting, selecting, shortlisting and offering the offer letter to my people. So let me start and give you a small 2x2 matrix to explain you what a corporate is looking for. So we are making a 2x2 matrix. All right. Now, we have 4 situations. Now, what are the corporate looking at? First and foremost, they are looking at your skills and your knowledge to do the job for which you are being hired. And number 2, they are looking for a personality that will match the job that you will be doing. All right. So they're looking at only 2 things. One is skills and knowledge. And second is personality. I'm keeping it very simple. I'm not giving you 10, 12, 15 things. Right? But everything will fall into these 2 categories only. Right? Now let's say skills. You have the skills or you don't have the skills. Similarly, you have a rounded personality, you have a suitable personality, or you don't have a suitable personality. These are the only 4 things that can happen to you. Either you know it, you don't know it. Either you have it or you don't have it. Right? Now, what do you get in these quadrants? Quadrant number 1. Yes, you have the skills. And yes, you have a personality. So you have a double click. Right on, bang on, you get into the job. Right? Opposite to that, you neither have skills nor you have the personality that is required for that job. So it's a double cross. What is the third situation that can happen? And that is you have the skill, but you don't have the personality. You don't have the attitude. You cannot talk well, you cannot walk well, you cannot dress up well, you don't have the social skills, you don't have the team spirit. These are all parts of personalities when you don't have it. Right? But you are good with your skills. Will the corporate hire you? I think no. Very difficult. Because the corporate alongside skills is looking for your team spirit also. You have to be a team person. You have to take ownership of the organization. Right? So here I will put a question mark. Number 3. Number 4. Right? Where you have the personality, you have the right mental attitude, you have the right behavior, you have team spirit, you are willing to learn, you have a rounded non-verbal personality, you speak well, right? So you have everything, but you are low on your skills. Will you get the job in the corporate? I think yes, you will. And why? Because you are willing to learn. And if you are willing to learn, whatever that you don't know in the corporate, in terms of skills and knowledge, the corporate can teach you. Right? So here, there's a single click, not double click, but a single click. Now, Dr. Sharma, Tell me, sir, am I right when I say this?
Absolutely. In fact, I would just add on to say that, when I've also done about thousands of interviews, and what I look for is a mindset that is ready to do hard work, ready to take stress, show leadership qualities, display time management. And in the recent times, I've seen that there is a lot of focus on critical thinking and analytical skills.
Oh yes, oh yes, and that is why this subject, analytics, has taken so much of lead over other subjects, and it's required by everybody across the board on in a corporate echelon.
True that. And now we have to come to what role can MBA colleges, obviously, in order to select an MBA college, you have to understand what role can an MBA college play, and then look for evidences. I'll come back to you with that question. But what can an MBA college do? Let me say a few things on that. Well, an MBA college, a student that comes to an MBA college needs to understand the first thing is about his strengths and weaknesses. What should he invest more time on? What is it about skill, as the excellent metrics that you have said? Is it about investing more on personality development? Is it about more about skill development? Is it more about mindset? You might be a very good speaker, you might be good at skill and have a learning mindset, but are you there? I mean, what do you need to work on that weakness part? One has to identify a college, an MBA college with mentorship of faculty and the placement and other external relationships and alumni committees. They all are ways and means to help you understand where are you missing. The next a college can do is about using the right pedagogy and a right classroom environment. A good classroom environment is about cosmopolitan set of students that are there in the class. To me, a class in which there are more than 10, 15 states students coming from there is a better class than a class in which 80-90% are local students.
Correct.
They get a perspective. Pedagogies have to be more on the lines of case studies and experiential learning, because gone are the days when one would read from the book and write an exam and become an MBA, or let's say the more recent ones wherein the faculty uses more of classroom PowerPoint presentations. It's more about discussion in the class. It's more about experiential learning. It's more about relating some knowledge to a business context that is given by the case study method of pedagogy. Then a college can bring in a lot of industry expertise in class. They can get a lot of experienced professional right now practicing. The latency, the recency of the knowledge is very important, and that is why currently practicing executives coming into class is a great knowledge sharing that can be done enabled by the colleges. The colleges can choose the right set of specializations that should be offered to the students and create the right ecosystem. For example, if marketing offers you or finance offers you the highest opportunities, largest opportunities, then we must have those specializations. A business school that has a lot of international linkages has to have an international business as a specialization. In fact, one specialization that cuts across almost every other functional field is business analytics.
Oh,
because
yes.
the students of the day have to understand the data, the context, and how to analyze to create some intelligence out of the data that is getting generated. So analytics as a specialization can be integrated across in an MBA college. That's important. Depth of practical learning and developing a mindset. That's what an MBA college can focus on. Rest everything is consequential. If you do the right things, all these things in the right possible manner, providing the right ecosystem, get the right students in the class, use the right pedagogy, use the right course material, and then focus on their mindset development, placement happens. In fact, no company outside is in social service. They are looking for good people, and the good people, the investment in the good people or preparing those good people is the responsibility of an MBA college. So now, that incites a question in my mind. Now, what factors one should look at in a college to be able to decide, how do I find out whether the college does this investment on me? What are the factors that are important, Prof?
Before I answer the question that you asked me, I would like to say few words on what you so correctly said. First and foremost, you talked about the pedagogy in MBA colleges, how it should be, right? See, MBA is a skill-based course, and so whatever that you did up till graduation won't work in an MBA college. When you prior to your MBA, you are used to a classroom where a teacher comes, gives you lots and lots of information, tries to put it in your mind, and goes out. Here it is the other way around. Here, the teacher is only a conductor of the class. वो एक सूत्रधार की भूमिका में है, right? And he is not coming to the class to put a lot of things into your mind. Rather, he has come to draw out things from you. So he will come. You have to come prepared for the class, right? And you have to debate amongst yourselves so that the learning happens between you guys. And the professor is going to intervene only and only when you are going astray. And he's going to give you some finer points which you have missed out. So this is the difference in pedagogy prior to MBA and during MBA. That's why it is all case-based studies. And like you rightly said, Dr. Sharma, that we call a lot of professors from outside to come and give lectures in the classroom, right? So that they can give you what you said, the recency of what is going on in the industry, which you should be aware of.
Pardon me to interrupt here, but we have the first results of one of our questions that we put to the participants, and I'm actually very glad to see that knowledge and skill development is more than 60% of people are focusing on that, and I'm also glad to see that placement has got a
21%.
lesser focus. And that's important to note, that the child of today, the student of today is working more on developing his skills for the future.
Yes,
money
yes.
And placements will follow.
Yes, and you rightly said, Dr. Sharma, that placements will happen. Will happen. You don't have to go to an MBA college to get a job. You have to go to MBA college to develop your skills, your knowledge, and your personality, which I showed you in the matrix. Right? And I am also delighted to know that people are not looking at an MBA college as a placement agency. Right? Because I have been in the corporate and now I am in education field also, and a lot of times I am told, what is the placeability of your college? What is the highest package? What is the lowest package? What is the average package? I tell them one thing. You guys say, what is the package? The corporate says, we are willing to give you more package. Where are the people? You give us corporate trained people, corporate friendly executives, and we are willing to pay, we are willing to open our coffers to them. Give them any amount of money as long as they are industry prepared. So we need to make industry prepared people or students. No, I will not call them students, I will call them managers. We managers. We don't even think that the student who's coming into the class is a student. He is a young manager. Like in the army, we say young officers, right? Right from the time you get into an academy, you are called a young officer and not a trainee. Same way, in an MBA college, the students should be referred to as young officers, right? Young managers. Okay, now I will come to that question of yours, that what should an MBA college excel in to train their students. And can I get back to that matrix, please? Okay, yeah. So you see this on the screen. I have said that what is required by a student to become industry prepared is that he should possess the skills and knowledge, and he should have the right personality. Now, if an MBA college has to prepare the students in these two dimensions, then his entire layout of the college in terms of tangibles and intangibles should hover around these two criteria: skills and knowledge. How do you get good skills and knowledge? You will get good skills and knowledge only and only through good faculty, industry faculty, people who are from the profession, who have done it and lived it all. Right? Because like I said earlier, books even you can read. Bookish knowledge even you can read. What you need is relationship of that text to the field, and that only a corporate guy can give you. So you need good faculty, you need industry trained faculty to train you for the industry. Right? So practicing manager or managers who have practiced are the best people to teach in an MBA college. This is one thing. Second is, now only the faculty cannot do everything. And a faculty also needs to be motivated, right or wrong, Kishore? Right. So you need good classrooms, you need air-conditioned classrooms, you need good infrastructure, the LCD projectors, the speakers and all in the class so that you can show videos. You have an environment which is again a corporate environment. So you have a classroom which looks like a boardroom, right? And so the students, right from the time that they are in their classroom, get a feeling of a boardroom, right? And when they are discussing amongst themselves, and when they are discussing with the professor, or when they are giving their PPT presentations, right, they are actually doing what they will be required to do when they join the corporates. So that is one thing very important: good faculty and good infrastructure inside the class to help the professor create that environment of learning, not teaching, of learning. Learning is more important than teaching. What do you say, Sharma sir?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, learning requires very attentive listening. Learning requires pre-reading of the material that is supposed to be read before coming to the class. Learning requires discussion. Learning requires putting yourself in the shoes of the person who is taking a decision. It is not about reading books and going through class presentations.
Right. So, very rightly, as Dr. Saab said, what you need is to learn and not get taught. Learning happens from within. Teaching happens from outside. So you have to introspect and develop yourself from within and make learning happen. And that is the job of the professor also. Going ahead. Second thing very important is the personality. Now, how is personality developed? Right? Personality को मैं अगर हिंदी में बोलूं तो मैं उनको संस्कार भी कह सकता हूं. Sanskar is also part of your personality, right? And how does sanskar build? They build from the environment that you stay in. So the college also has to give the right environment so that the sanskar required by the corporate are indrilled into them, consciously and more subconsciously. Right? So the campus should be made in such a manner that the students can interact with each other unofficially also, right? There should be good infrastructure in terms of good auditorium, good messes, maybe a nice cafeteria where they can laze around, a nice atrium where they can have some management games, a gymnasium where they can release their stress, right? A pool to enjoy, a lounge to relax, right? So all these things will create the right environment, and the right environment will automatically develop your personality. You have to bring in that environment. A lot of people say we are teaching English. Nobody can teach you English. You have to learn English. And the best way to learn English is to speak English. And to speak English, you need an English speaking environment. So the company, or sorry, not the company, the college needs to do is build that environment. Many colleges, including ours, has created our campus as if it is a corporate office. It has got a corporate style lobby. It has got corporate type facilities that are there to de-stress people, to de-stress employees, right? To look after them. They are the internal customers, right? So we need to make all that infrastructure available, and if you do that, automatically personality will be made. I will talk on that more, but before that, let me take one more question, and that is, Doctor, a lot of people are confused about what is a PGDBM and what is an MBA, what is the difference between the two, which one should we do, and so can you clear this confusion from them?
So that's a good question. I do remember a lot of questions on these lines. So I'll take this question a little later. Let me add on to the factors that are important when somebody goes out to a college to understand whether this is the right college and what evidence does he or she get from what information does the college provide. So one is, it must be recognized. It must be AICTE recognized, which are called PGDM colleges. PGDM is a postgraduate diploma in business management, and the other one is university recognized, and they are called masters in business administration, that is MBA. Well, just to give you an instance, IIM Ahmedabad till about 2 years back, one of the best colleges in India, established in 1960s. Ever since then, they were not giving MBA degrees. Okay. All the students from there are postgraduate diplomas, PGDMs, or as they call it, PGP program, postgraduate program in management. So literally speaking, I don't see a big difference between PGDM or an MBA. It depends again on the MBA college or the management institution that you choose.
So if I understood it correct, PGDM is when you are AICTE approved.
Yes.
So AICTE tells us that you have to give this particular PGDM degree.
Right.
Right. And when you have your own university, then you can give a master's in business administration degree also, which is an MBA.
Right. You may have your own university program,
okay,
or you can be affiliated to any university.
But you don't necessarily have to be an AICTE approved.
No, I have rarely seen institutions having both. They might have both AICTE approved. If it is AICTE approved and that program is not approved by the university, then they will offer it as a PGDBM program. If that program is approved by the university that they are affiliated to, then they will run it as a master's in business administration.
Okay.
So to me, the difference is in the knowledge that you get, and that comes from the institution, not the affiliations.
Okay, what's in the name? Like, like Shakespeare said.
So the right institution, even IIM Ahmedabad has been offering only PGP program that's not an MBA degree for more than 45-50 years.
And still so prestigious.
Yes, it is. Two is, when you look at the colleges, they should they should be writing something or telling you something about the student-teacher ratio. Now, 20 students to one teacher is a ratio that has been proposed and suggested by AICT. That's the norm in management education, but there are a lot of colleges doing even better than that, including Taxila. Then you come to what investment you have to do. Let's say if you go to a college, I'm sure from the website you'll be able to get the information on fees structure, and then you also need to add on to the spending that you will do for 2 years of stay, so that will be a hostel and boarding arrangement. So all those costs combined together, then you compare it with the general average placements. In the placements, you need to look at the more important number is, if you're not so confident, the more important number is the lowest salary. If you are very confident, then the most important number is the highest salary. And then if you are in between somewhere, you look at the average salary. And when you look at average salary versus the cost of doing that program, that's where you are able to make some assessment about the return on investment. I've seen colleges who are charging about 30 to 40 lakhs over a 2-year period. This is total cost of doing that MBA. And there, even if they talk about 15, 20 lakhs of placements, average placements, that is still only 50% return on investment. And there are colleges at the other end, for example, Faculty of Management Studies, Delhi, which is consistently in the top 10 colleges, the cost of doing an MBA from there may not be even 3 lakhs or 4 lakhs, including all the costs. But the average salaries there are about 20 lakhs. So don't get into this, the conundrum of somebody giving you a very high placement. So you have to compare it with the total cost of doing that, and that's ROI. I think, website, there are websites also. I remember having seen one website called MBAROI.in or .com. You may like to explore more on that, which gives you a fair idea about the costs and the returns that you can get over time. So that's an important aspect. One more thing over there is about the eligibility that you would have and the selection process of the colleges. Now, you would see that there are colleges which keep pestering you, why don't you come and join, we have this, we have that. And there are colleges which sit quiet and you go to them, please take me. And in between, there are thousands of colleges. We have to look into the depth of their selection process, the clarity as well as the rigor of the selection process. I know of institutions that have up to 10 components, and that includes all your past schooling, college, co-curricular activities, experience, any specific skill that you have, and the entrance exam score. It could be CAT, ZAT, MAT, or any other. So the rigor of that selection process also tells a lot about the institution capability. And the last thing, you must look at when you look for an MBA college is about how old it is, and that connects to the network of alumni, which is even, when you talk of Harvard, Princeton, MIT, the best colleges, Oxford, Cambridge, they are there for more than 100, 200 years. Their alumni are their biggest strength. They need money, they need endowments, they need to construct some classrooms, buildings. There are alumni everywhere that to do. They need to connect their current student to do live projects, to internships, placements, development, interaction, coming to the class, sharing experiences. Alumni is the key. And there are institutions which have a very strong relationship with alumni. Institutions that have a very good alumni platform are great institutions that you should be looking at.
Can I add something, sir? You have very rightly said that many colleges try and promote their packages, right? And you also very rightly said that you should not get swayed away by the packages that is being offered, right? According to me also, I think the initial package is not as important as the company that they will get a job in. The company is more important for me than the package, right? For example, let's take Asian Paints. If Asian Paints is giving you a lower salary than any local paint manufacturer, what should you prefer? I think Asian Paints, right? So it's very important for you to, number one, see what company you are getting the job in, and secondly, like you rightly said, what is the alumni strength? Because alumni strength is something which will see you through your entire life, right? And it keeps developing. And most MBA colleges, when it comes to placement, thrive on their alumni status.
Just to add on there, when you talk about placements, because why I guess we are talking more on placements is that's the biggest worry in the minds of an MBA aspirant.
Yes.
So it's important to clear out, what should you need to look at when you look at placement statistics of a college. It is more about the opportunities that
Colleges
the college creates for you. A lot of colleges talk about 100% placements guaranteed. To me, not even an IIM Ahmedabad can guarantee
Yes.
placements. There are people every year that IIM Ahmedabad has to push into the corporate world, not not the other way around, where the corporate is willing to take, and that happens in almost every institution. The weaker candidates actually are facing a lot of trouble if you are not invested in yourself for the 2 years when you were doing MBA. But the college responsibility is not to provide placements.
Yes.
College's responsibility is to create an environment where a student develops to his best potential, and then college creates opportunities through either alumni strength or its external relationship strength and brings in companies. Now again, I keep going back saying that no private company is into social service. They are looking for good candidates for which they are even ready to pay higher salaries. If they don't find those good candidates at your institution or any institution, they will go back without taking, but
Yes.
they will come back again because the college has a good relationship with the industries coming in.
So
is the
placement
college-
is actually an icing on the cake and not the cake itself in an MBA college. That's what you're trying to say.
Correct. And side by side, that icing has to bring in maximum taste, right? That the ice could be vanilla, topping. It could be strawberry topping. It could be butterscotch topping. It could be chocolate chips topping. That's where all the companies are fitting in. A plain vanilla ice cream is definitely not preferable to some of those toppings ice creams.
Correct.
So in that sense, whether the college is creating opportunities for the students to get the right kind of companies, then it comes down to whether the students have done enough investment in themselves and they are able to give a good interview to be able to stake the claim on that job. That is what is the efficiency of the placement process. And I'm sorry to state that a lot of colleges actually shout very hard on 100% placements or everything, and when you see that, there are not enough opportunities that they are creating. So that's important, I guess.
One more statistics which I am aware of is that more than 80% people who get campus placements don't stick on to that first job. They, in a year, 2 year, 3 years time, they change their job, they go into, so they are only using the campus placement as a platform to fly off.
That's fine. That's a choice that they make while going out of an institution. The choices that are available, you have to choose amongst them. The choice is between not taking a placement versus taking a placement and then trying to find out whether they will fit into that job or not. In a very constrained job environment where there are not a lot of jobs available and number of graduates are more, students are more worried about that they must first get the first choice, the first chance to work. Choice and chance may not always go together. First chance to work, that may be your choice company, but sometimes the choice is discovered later. If that choice does not meet your expectations, then you may leave that company. But that's just like a company chooses not to take a candidate, the candidate also chooses later on not to be in that company. Not to be with the company. All right, I think we have done enough from our side on the issues that one should look at while choosing an MBA college. Maybe more of that we may be able to explain while we take the question and answer. So next, I guess 20 minutes, 25 minutes we will spend on as many questions that we can get from the audience. Yes, please.
The first question comes from who's the person? Oh, it's
Anushka
Srivastava. Can you read? It's too small
Yes,
a print
yes,
for
yes.
me.
Sir, due to COVID, everything is affected. So, sir, this is the right time to do MBA this year or not? Our education and placement will be affected or not this year?
I think we
Anushka, there are a lot of questions within this one question. So, a part of it I'll take and I'll request Professor Nigam also to reflect on this. Well, COVID is unfortunate, and the humanity, I don't know whether we created these situations unknowingly, but it is inflicting a lot of hardships on everybody in their personal lives and also in the corporate lives. There are some businesses that are performing well, but largely the other businesses have suffered a huge setback in terms of business. And so quite a lot of these future programs and projects have been postponed, and that includes hiring, etc. So definitely this year looks difficult for hiring and placement, but if you look at it, this is a virus at the end of it, and this second wave is a result of our own silly civil behavior of the citizens of the country. Wherever they were more mature, those countries they have completely wiped out corona, but we are facing the heat. That's fine. It's not fine, but it's okay. I mean, we're just going through it. We just can't do anything much about it except keeping ourselves safe, social distancing, and wearing a mask. But to me, it's a virus. As vaccination improves, more than 50%, 60% of the population is vaccinated. Out of the rest, a large percentage will already be carrying antibodies because they might have been infected by COVID at some part of the time in the last 1.5 years. So we are not away from, let's say it could be 2 months, 3 months, max 6 months. We are not away from a herd immunity kind of a situation, from which point onwards you have already seen that as the economy opened up, there are a lot of hirings that have already started happening. There is a little lull during this period of time, 2-3 months, but as soon as this thing goes away, the peaks are there. From there, COVID starts going down, the companies will start going back on their future plans and projects once again, and they will start hiring. So to me, probably the best hiring period would be the next cycle. Because most of the projects that were postponed, or the future plans of investments that will come back, so the next hiring would be the most crucial and probably the most the better in terms of opportunities for students. But if you choose an MBA today, you will come out 2 years later. So to me, COVID is actually the time to get into an MBA and bypass the most stressful period while acquiring skills at an MBA
Very well
college.
said. Very, very well said.
So this could not be a better time. In fact, last year, whoever made a choice last year are probably the best suited people. They have passed the entire 2 years acquiring skills. Yes, I know that online learning versus offline learning, in classroom learning, there are issues there. Offline learning is much better than online learning, but they will pass out at a time when the placement scenario will be, the industry scenario will be much better. But if you make a choice right now, even the next 1 year, which is going to be, stressful in terms of what will happen, what will not happen, this is not happening, that is not happening, at least 1 year you will be spending on acquiring skills rather than worrying about jobs in future of the markets. And 2 years down the line, probably people will remember COVID as an unfortunate history.
I would rather say, I will echo your statements only, but give a little different perspective. I think COVID is an opportunity, right, and not a threat. Take it as an opportunity. And like you said, that you are going to pass out in 23. So, 21, 22 and 22, 23 you can use for your development of skills and knowledge and personality, as we spoke, right, and become industry relevant, so that in 23 you take up a job. And I can tell you one thing, and there are reports to this effect, that Indian economy is going to boom at more than 10% at GDP.
Right, that. Yeah.
Right? So there will be far more opportunities available in 23 than what was available ever, according to my estimation. Right? And so if you are available for hiring at that point in time, I think you will get that edge. So take that edge. Start your MBA in 21, so that you are out in 23. By then, COVID would have passed. You, like you rightly said, you would have taken advantage of this sickness period to hone up yourself and become industry relevant, so that the moment they want it, you are available.
Yeah,
Right?
right,
So I think don't take it as a threat, take it as an opportunity, be optimistic, choose your MBA college very wisely. That is important. You should take up a college which is centrally located within the city, so that, God forbid, if something happens, you are close to the medical facility. So proximity of the college vis-a-vis city is very important. Right? The campus layout is very important. How many people are there in the hostel? Is it 2 by 2 per room, or is it 4 by 2, or is it a dormitory? So all these things, if you take into mind, I think you will not go wrong. Take COVID as an opportunity is what I will say.
Very well said, Professor Nigam. An opportunity never strikes twice, and humanity and all the people who have done well in life has had that one inflection point where they made the right choice when the opportunity was striking. Praveen Venkat, next question is asking, an offline bond developed remains even in the online mode, but vice versa is difficult to maintain. Yes, Praveen, very well said. How the peer-to-peer networks with the fellow students and networks with faculty, companies are developed and mutual trust is gained. So if I have understood your question correctly, you are just questioning that, how online education, which is currently, that's the norm that is going on, you can't do much because there are government mandated lockouts and closure of institutions. How do you maintain this peer-to-peer networks with fellow students, and how do you develop networks and fraternity with faculty, or mutual trust, the issues on mutual trust? That's an important question.
Yes,
yeah.
that's an important question.
I've seen, there are a lot of students who are getting worried about when will you start the offline classes. Well, they have understood, and there are evidences almost everywhere, whether it is school education or college education or university education, online education, learning proficiency, learning abilities are compromised in online.
Truly, and more for an MBA college because we are a skill-based institute.
Yes.
And skills can be learned better when you are in front of the trainer. I mean, take an example of learning cricket. Can you learn cricket online? No, you cannot. You have to be on the field, and you need to be playing, and the instructor telling you how to go about doing it. So same thing happens in an MBA college. But I am very sure, Dr. Sharma, that COVID times are not going to last too long.
Yes.
With the vaccine in place and with the drives that are coming out and the help that we are getting, I don't think more than 2-3 months we should have COVID bothering us in restarting the online classes. And so this batch is going to start only in July. So another reason not to be worried
To
about
me,
it.
I am 99% hopeful, but that the next batch will start the first day in a physical class.
Yes, and will continue like that
And
till 23.
yes. Praveen has another question which says, with PGDM, would we be eligible for government jobs or UGC NET NET if we want to pursue career in teaching? Well, an AICT approved degree is an approved postgraduate qualification. So the answer is yes, you can. But you have to be very careful about the affiliation of the college. It must be AICT. You must see some evidence of AICT affiliation or a good university affiliation wherever, if you're going for an MBA. It should not be that fly by night or a distance MBA kind of, or a part-time kind of. If you really want to be, the greater value lies in a regular MBA as compared to a part-time MBA or a distance MBA. And even a regular MBA from a state university, a good enough university. Private universities are also good. I'm not saying that you should only look at state universities and an AICT affiliation. All of those are recognized as proper postgraduate qualification.
I think this is a very good question. I would like to reiterate what you have said. First and foremost, AICT is a government body, right? A central government body, all India body. And so, whatever certificate programs that they launch are valid for any government job. Am I right, sir?
Yes.
Secondly, any university, private university, which is again accredited by the government, the degree that they are giving you is valid for any government job, right, sir? And government university, obviously, you can get a government job. But I will say again a very big but. More than looking only for the validity of your course, look for your knowledge and skill base, right? Which college is giving you more skill base alongside these legal AICT approvals and all. Look for a college which will train you in your skills, in your knowledge, and in your personality development. So,
true that. Priyam is asking a very loaded question, but it's a good question, I would say. Can you recommend colleges which are underrated but very good? Well, Priyam, if I were to give you a clear answer on that, I would be actually marketing for those colleges whose name I take. So the short answer to this question is, look at Taxila Business School at Jaipur, and whatever we talked about, you'll find it there, but you have to do your homework. I've given you one option. Look at how can you compare that with other options and probably make a right choice. But this may not be a question on which I would be able to give you a very clear answer.
And Prem, if you were to blurt out a list to you, then we would not have been doing this webinar on how you can choose.
True.
Right? So you have to choose an MBA college. And let me tell you one more thing, that you should choose an MBA college which suits your strengths and weaknesses. Right? All MBA colleges are not for all the people, because all MBA colleges have got their own unique propositions, right? So, but I have a method by which you can do it, and you start from the core. What is the core of any education institution? The learning that you get there. So start with the faculty. It's unfortunate that most of the students don't spend too much time on researching on faculty. Right? They take it for granted that faculty would be good. No, it is not that case. You have to go, every website of any college will have a faculty page. Go on to that page, go click on the faculties, go on their credentials, see how many research papers have they written, how many videos are there, see those videos, see their flair in teaching, right, and then decide whether the faculty is good. If the faculty is good, they will deliver good lectures and you will get good learning. Having decided on or shortlisted few colleges on good faculty, go towards little far. How are the classrooms? What is the environment inside the classroom? What is the pedagogy? Right? Research on that. Then go a little further. Look at what are the other facilities the colleges have got. Whether they have an auditorium, whether they have an atrium where you can do a lot of management activities. Is there a gaming zone to de-stress you, right? Is there a gym, is there a pool, and how's the hostel, how many people to a room, how's the mess, is there a canteen, what are the teaching timings, right? How much stress are they putting on you in your learning? Are they training you to be corporate trained or not? So expand yourself from the core, go broader, and try and match the credentials of the college with your strengths or your weaknesses, and you will not go wrong.
Right. I'll just pick up one thread from yours, but that that mindset of every corporate actually wants the executives that they hire to have a great mindset of being able to do hard work. Now, how do you train people for hard work? The cue that you shared right now is there are some colleges which have a morning 9 to 4 kind of 2 classes or 3 classes in a day. I have known about colleges which actually have 12 hours of curriculum. Sometimes, almost every week there are a couple of days where they might have to work overnight in order to give an assignment the next day, and that is a continuous phenomenon rather than once or once a month or something like that. So the more the college or the institution gets a person to work simultaneously on multiple things, creates that stress, creates that time pressure. That is how probably a mindset of hard work.
And that is how you become corporate trained.
Yes.
That is how you become ready for a corporate job.
Right. So, Priyam, you've asked your question and I have not answered that question very rightly. Vaishnavi Kore says 0.5. I don't know what is that. She may want to clarify this. Ayush.
0.5 maybe that point that they gave.
Ayush, can MBA be done within 8 lakhs from a good college? Ayush, MBA can be done within 2 lakhs also from the best college. If you're looking at just 2 lakhs, then FMS is the place where you can go. But getting into FMS is almost about 99.9 percentile score in CAT. So that's where you get the best return on investment. But don't look at only 8 lakhs as a college fees. Look at the total cost. That's one. So the total cost would include probably a lakh or 1.5 lakhs per year on your
stay,
on your boarding and lodging. So overall, if you are able to get a college within 10, 11 lakhs kind of, 8 lakhs, 6 lakhs, 7 lakhs, 8 lakhs of college fees, and then 1.5 to 2.5 kind of the stay arrangements based on the facilities that they provide. A bracket of 10 plus minus 1 lakh is the right bracket, and you will be able to get good number of good colleges.
And
So
and nowadays loans are also available.
Right,
And the,
that's
and,
that's
and,
an
and,
important
and,
point.
and, the, and the colleges have an infrastructure to get you loans. So don't worry on that score.
So what is it that a loan is taken if it is taken to invest in your future? It is almost like taking bank loan to buy a house,
Yes, yes.
and you feel more comfortable therein. A good skill from a good college which you are going to get today, that's the best return on investment on any loan that you take today. So to me, if the fees is high, you just need to look at whether I can get a bank loan or not, whether the institution provides opportunities and networks to get a loan. This is the best investment, something that will give you returns for the whole life.
Kamal sir, let me add here. We just did the ROI. You did it. That you recover your money, but that you have spent in an MBA college within 2 years or 3 years maximum.
Yeah.
Which business gives you this luxury of giving you an ROI within 3 years? No business, let me tell you. I have 4 businesses running and I have taken loans to run those businesses and I am still paying those loans. Right? So, MBA has the best ROI. Be happy about that. Right? But don't compromise your college just because you want to save few pennies vis-a-vis the other college. Look for a good college.
Yeah, you have to focus on getting admission into a good college.
And if you have good marks, let me tell you, you will get scholarships from the college which will help you reduce your financial burden also.
True that, yeah. Let's take the next question. Kshitij Kumar, if I have pronounced it correctly.
Kshitij.
Hello sir, I am a chemical engineer currently working in JSW Steel, that's Jindal Steel Works, right? Okay. Considering my operations background, what are the prerequisites for developing my career in business analytics, as I don't have any previous background of analytics? Okay. So we will have a few videos on this in the next week and this coming, and there will be series of videos clarifying on most of these aspects. But for an answer to this question right now, you don't need a business analytics background to be able to become a specialist in business analytics. Business analytics is about to understand data, how it is getting captured, to understand how data can be put together, to understand the tools that can synthesize and analyze that data, and to have a business mindset that connects the results of the data to a business situation, business strategies, business planning. Now this last part, the first part of data gathering, analyzing tools, all of that is a developing science. You just need to be comfortable with numbers and statistics. So
and engineers are good at it.
And if you are an engineer, you don't have to worry about that. The next thing is you have to have a learning mindset, because once you are able to see some meaning in a certain data, that's not the end of it. Now you have to connect it to a business situation, how better business decisions can be taken now that given I have some results from the data collected. That is where an MBA fits in. Yes. So an MBA with a specialization in business analytics is probably the best combination. Best combination that
best
you could
combination.
have in the current times.
And for an engineer, I think analytics today offers the best career opportunities and the most lucrative ones. Right. So if you are an engineer, you will be very comfortable with figures. So data entering and punching and all that will be very easy for you. Do an MBA from a good college and you will learn how to use that data for strategizing. And that's all that you need to know in analytics.
Okay, Muskan Bura is asking, sir, is strength matter in class? So let me understand this question. If you are talking about the strength, that is number of students in a class, which seems to be the obvious meaning of this question, it does matter. it does matter. A class size of 30 and a class size of 70, 80, 90, there is definitely class size of 30 is preferable than the larger number, because it develops that more closeness with the faculty. The faculty is able to take larger set of questions. More number of people can clarify their doubts in the class itself. The discussion quality is better because less number of people are able to throw light. When you are talking about, let's say, 60, 70 in a class, and in a group, if you have got 10 students, you may not reach as much closer to a good discussion as you can reach with 4 or 5 in that group. So less is better than more in terms of a class strength. But what is an ideal class strength? Well, technologies have come a lot to help here, and the class sizes are going higher as compared to those days when it was completely in the hands of the faculty to drive everything in the class. Today you can use a lot of technology also to drive a class. So to me now these days up to 50, 60, these are class sizes in IIMs, IIM Ahmedabad, Bangalore, all of them. For common classes, common subject classes, they might have an entire set of students, 180 to 40 students in an auditorium, but that's more of a one-way flow of a lecture or something. But if you have to do a good class, good discussion, good learning, an ideal class size of about 40 to 60 is fine.
And that helps in mentoring also, because
Yes.
many colleges, including Taxila, we have a mentoring program where the professors, students are attached to professors for mentoring. So if you have too large a crowd, it will become difficult for the professor also to spend time with the students. So an ideal box of students is good enough. Too less is also not good, because then you don't get the diversification of in any topic.
That's a good point. Let me reiterate here which I said a little while earlier. A class with a diverse background has much more learning potential for every student in the class. So if they are representing different backgrounds in academics, different backgrounds of states, different backgrounds, a good mix of boys and girls, that's an ideal class as compared to some class that is heavy on one. Like all the engineers, not a very good class. All of them local students, not a very good class. All of them boys or all of them girls, not a very good class, because you're preparing students for future work, and that's where all these boundaries,
Dynamics will come.
all these boundaries dissolve. Okay. Binita, next question, sir. Is it better to go for new IIMs or private institutes which has higher alumni connections like IMT Ghaziabad or XIMB? What do you suggest if I do not have any particular specialization in mind?
Well, IIM is a brand, so if you are looking for a brand, IIM is IIM. But if you're like that matrix which I told you, if you're looking for knowledge, skills, and personality development, I think private colleges like ours will prove to be better in a long run. I would say that. Because you can't be roaming around with a tag all your life without really encashing it. So knowledge plus tag, both is important, and so rather than taking a low end IIM, better to take an established private college.
Yeah, so there are there are a lot of thanks, Professor Nigam. You said the context right. There are a lot of rankings, etc. You will be able to see on the internet, and you will see that the newer IIMs are ranked somewhere closer to 20, 25, 30 kind of brackets. The consistency with which the institutes like IMT or IMI or Great Lakes or Bajaj or XLRI, all these institutions, they are there in the top 15. they are there for a reason, because they have great alumni strength, as well as they have proven their credentials of creating a good learning environment over the years. So to me, go by that ranking. If you are there in the 99, 98, 97 percentile bracket, you have to obviously you will look at IIMs and the top ranking in the top 15, 20. As you get out of the bracket of top 20, then everything else starts making sense. I would even pitch a private institute like, for example, Symbiosis Pune, better than many of the IIMs. Something like a Taxila Business School, uh, which occupies a very unique space in business analytics specialization, is much better than many of the IIMs.
Yes.
So make the choice that way, and you'll get a lot of data on the internet, but it's important to make the right choice. Akash, sir, should IITs be considered for doing MBA in respect to colleges like SIBM Pune, as IIT are generally known for engineering programs? Well, let me take this question. There are some IIT MBAs like Vinod Gupta School in Kharagpur, the IIT Bombay and IIT Delhi are very good MBAs, I would say, and they have a natural bent towards engineering side of things. So obviously, since they have a large mass, an ecosystem of technology institution, their focus will be like that. But if you are able to get in there, if you are an engineer from a non-IIT, and if you are able to get in there, that would be a very good thing. But even these institutions are looking for diversity in class. They're also looking at arts and commerce, non-engineering graduates to be there in the class to enrich the class. So these are also good MBA programs, I would say, and so make a wise choice. Vrunda Rajgor, sir, I have a serious conundrum about whether to go for sector-specific pharma MBA or core general MBA. I would read that. Given my background is a master's in cell and molecular biology, I don't have any corporate sector experience.
Oh, who's the person?
Vrunda.
Vrinda, the principles of management, whether applied to microbiology or to a production house or to a trading house or to any industry, remains unaltered. Right? So, I personally feel you should choose a good MBA, and I have already told you how to choose a good MBA. Each MBA college has got their own strengths. Look at your strength, look at the college strength, merge the two and decide for an MBA college. I think that will be a wiser choice than just going for a college which is offering you MBA in microbiology. Because even if you do I have been teaching in this college in Sanganer, IHMR, right? And I was teaching them regular consumer behavior. So there is nothing, and if you take a sales module or a normal marketing module, you will be teaching everything same. Maybe they might have one or two tailor-made subjects on microbiology or trade specific.
Thank you. In fact, the simplest answer to this question is: if you love pharma, do a pharma MBA. If you love chemistry, chemical, do a chemical MBA. But if you are agnostic to a sector and you are looking just at general opportunities, do a general MBA,
Yes.
but with some additional skills, because any sector, every sector and every function would require some common skills, and business analytics is one of those skills that is required across sectors and across businesses. I am actually, now getting overawed with the situation that we are already 15 minutes beyond time and we have 42 new messages and questions. We may not be able to take all these questions. There are two ways to deal with this situation. we do another this kind of a discussion very soon.
Very soon.
And two is, we'll just keep these questions and answer them. Just put your email ID. I'm sure you would have put your email IDs. So we will respond to you when we have time, but I would prefer to have another discussion. So let me take a quick call on some questions that have easy and simple answers. Can you help us choose a specialization? To me, the largest scope in the market today is on marketing, and with the business analytics, those two specializations are very hot these days. What are the best companies? How one would select in which field one should do MBA? We have probably touched upon a little bit, like what is scenario in hospitality.
That will depend on their strengths. So we can't answer
Sir,
that.
I've given ZAT, SNAP and CMAT exams, but I didn't score to get a decent college. I don't have good academics also. What do I have to do? May I drop this year or take institute which I have called? Well, it's a pure choice. This is an important question. There are a lot of people in this bracket who feel that they have not got the right scores in these exams. You will still get, with average scores also, with a little higher scores also, you will get good colleges. It's a matter of losing 1 year. To me, time is essence. And if you want to utilize this period of, stress and this thing to develop your skills, I think that's a better choice than waiting for 1 year.
Yeah.
Since MBA courses...
And it doesn't guarantee next year you will get good marks also. So,
Yes.
so make hay while the sun shines, and make the best use of what you have today.
Since MBA courses are going online, there is no scope of peer learning main component. How should we look at it? Please don't do an online MBA course if there is a possibility of choosing an offline course. That's number one. But if you have to work because finances are important for your family, then you could do an online MBA. But obviously, and the market has given enough evidence, a full-time MBA is valued much more than an online MBA. I think we will stop here because we have crossed in about 18 minutes. There's always a next
chance.
Next time and the next chance, and we will decide amongst ourselves what works better, whether we do another webinar, this workshop, or we respond to your questions in your email boxes. But I wish all of you a very safe and healthy living during these trying times of Corona. Please take good care of yourself and your families. Practice social distancing and wear your mask always.
I am very happy. I am especially happy with the excitement that all the participants had towards this particular webinar, and it enthuses us to take one more shot on this particular topic once again. We might decide to do it also. Right? Till then, thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I hope this session was meaningful for you all. We would have answered few of your questions, if not all your questions, but we are always available to help you, guide you, mentor you, train you, coach you, right? Do write to us, or if you wish, come and join Taxila Business School, and we are there to help you out. Thank you so much. Bye. Have a good day.